The lawyer's voice was calm when he said it, but his words cut deeper than any argument I'd ever had. "Mrs. Carter," he said softly, "your husband transferred every asset into his name 3 weeks ago." I remember the weight of my wedding ring pressing against my finger, a ring that suddenly felt like a chain. Before continuing, please subscribe to our channel and like our video. My name is Linda Carter, and for most of my life I believed in building things together. When I married Thomas, we were both in our early 30s. He was charming, confident, the kind of man who could make a whole room listen. He was quieter, a teacher who loved small routines, coffee on the porch, marking papers late into the night, saving a little every month. Thomas worked in real estate. He had big dreams, bigger than our small town, he used to say. I admired that. He said I grounded him, that I was his safe place, and I believed him. We bought our first home with the savings I'd built before we married. The deed had both our names. Of course it did. Marriage was about sharing, wasn't it? He promised we'd build a future together. But as years passed, his confidence turned into control. He wanted to handle our finances, like a man should. I trusted him. I signed where he told me to sign. When my parents passed away and left me their lake cabin, my childhood refuge, he said, "Let's put it under one name for tax reasons." He smiled as he said it. And I wanted to believe it was love. Looking back now, that was the first small crack in everything I thought was ours. The real fracture came when I turned 50. Thomas had started a new business, or so he claimed. He said he needed to restructure things and asked me to sign a few documents. Just a formality, he said, kissing my forehead. The papers were stacked neatly on the coffee table, the pen already waiting. I didn't read them. I didn't want to seem distrustful. That night, I remember feeling proud that we'd weathered so much together. But what I signed wasn't support, it was surrender. 3 months later, I got a letter from the bank. My name wasn't on the mortgage anymore, nor on our joint account. I confronted him. He just smiled. "You agreed. Linda, you signed everything." That sentence, so calm, so confident, made me feel like a stranger in my own life. He grew distant after that, colder. He traveled for meetings, and when he was home, the silence filled every room. Bills came in his name now. My credit card? Canceled. Due to inactivity, he said, "You don't need one. Everything's under control." Then things started disappearing. My jewelry, my grandmother's sewing machine, even our photo albums. He said he was moving them to storage for safety. Every night, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the empty chair across from me, wondering what I had done wrong. Then came the final blow. He told me he wanted a divorce. He said it casually, over breakfast, as if talking about the weather. "You'll be fine," he added. "You don't have much to worry about anyway." That line haunted me, because deep down, I knew what he meant. You don't have much left. When I tried to gather my papers, I realized I didn't have any. The house, the cabin, the savings, all gone. Every document bore his name alone. I went to my friend Susan, who worked part-time at a law office. She looked pale as she flipped through what little I had. "Linda," she said, "you need to talk to a real lawyer. Right now." That's how I ended up in Mr. Allen's office, the lawyer who would change everything. He listened quietly as I spoke. I kept apologizing, as if trusting my husband was some kind of sin. He studied the papers, then looked at me gently. "Mrs. Carter," he said, "these weren't authorizations, they were transfer deeds. Your husband moved every property and account into his name." The room went silent. I stared at my own signature, so small, so trusting. Then he added, "But there's something odd. He filed these transfers after you signed, without notarization. That's illegal." It felt like a flicker of light in a long, dark tunnel. Mr. Allen helped me gather proof, dates, witnesses, photos, emails. I found a picture from that signing night, Thomas sitting at the table, glass of wine beside him, and no notary stamp in sight. We filed a quiet case. No shouting. No revenge, just patience. He thought I was too broken to fight, but I was rebuilding, quietly, piece by piece. When the hearing came, Thomas walked in confident, that same easy grin that once melted me. But when Mr. Allen laid down the evidence, the fake transfers, the missing notarizations, the room fell still. "Your Honor," he said calmly, "these forms were not legally executed. Mrs. Carter's signature was misused for fraudulent gain." Thomas's smile faded. The judge ruled in my favor. Every asset, every account, restored to my name. He didn't say a word. He just stood there, smaller than I'd ever seen him. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I went home, made tea, and sat by the window, the same place where I once believed in forever. I sold the lake cabin, not out of pain, but to start anew. Now I live in a small apartment near my school. I still wear my wedding ring, but on a chain around my neck, not as a symbol of love, but as a reminder of what I survived. I've learned that trust is beautiful, but it needs truth to stand, and when truth finally speaks, even softly, even through a lawyer's words, it can save you.